Hello, Guardians. Welcome to Tower Casuals, the Destiny podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Deering, and alongside me, as always, is the spear throwing, the spark, the Jolly Roger, the grappling hook himself. Oh, Captain, my Captain, Josh Finney.
I definitely thought you were going to call me a scalawag since that's the seasonal title.
You know, I thought about it.
But I like that. We have a brand new season, brand new names. We have retired the mayor of the Deepstone Crypt.
We have officially.
You had to be there. You had to be there.
Yeah, we're retiring all of the old names. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, Trevor.
Yeah, we've got more work for you now.
Yeah. So yeah, new season. Hi, Josh. How are
Corey.
you? Are you okay?
Listen, I'm just gonna start off. Also, Trevor, it's been a fucking week.
It's
the
last for Josh, everybody.
I've been going through it the last 40 hours. I mentioned a few weeks ago I was planning to move into a new apartment. That got accelerated from happening in the middle of October to happening 3 days from now. So I have been packing my apartment for the last 24 hours or so because at 1:45 in the morning, Wednesday morning, got up, get a glass of water, go to the bathroom, like you do in the middle of the night, and I heard what sounded like a dripping noise in my office. Went in there, and I saw water landing on my desk chair. Drops of water, and I looked up, and I couldn't see really a leak. I saw a little bit of water spots on the ceiling, and I was like, that's weird. Those aren't leaking. The water was coming out of the light fixture that is above my chair. Well, that was causing water to splash up onto my desk, which is where my laptop was sitting, my power cords, my microphone, my camera, my monitor, you name it. I unplugged everything and moved it all very quickly, and I'm glad I did, because then the water started dripping faster and faster to the point where it was pretty much just a steady stream of water coming out. Woke my girlfriend up. It was dripping from so many places by that point. Emergency maintenance didn't pick up the phone. Called them several times. Had to get the fire department out here to shut the water off to the building. The long and the short of it is, my moron of a neighbor who lives upstairs turned on her bathtub sometime after 1 o'clock in the morning and fell asleep after she turned it on. Her tub overflowed, flooded her whole apartment, and she did not wake up until the fire department was practically banging down her door at 3:15. So it'd been overflowing for well over an hour. Wow. The water was dripping from at least a dozen places in my office alone, including from the main spot, which was that light fixture. It was dripping from the fire sprinklers in my bathroom. It was into my closet. It was in our walls. It spread to my kitchen. It was dripping from two more light fixtures because it heads to those first because there's holes there for the wires.
Right.
So we were kind of afraid to use the lights, and we still are afraid to use the lights in the office now for fear that it's going to cause a short and kill the power to the building or do something far worse.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I've been part of an electrical apartment fire. Not fun.
No, I'm downright terrified to use anything that's supplying any sort of power over there on that side of the apartment at this point. Thankfully, we will be out of here in a couple of days. None of my furniture outside of my desk chair got destroyed, thankfully. My desk was very wet, but we wiped it down we were wiping it on pretty consistently and got some dish towels on there to protect it a little bit. Once we moved the chair, it stopped landing on there mercifully. But we got very lucky that I decided to have a complete break with reality and a mental breakdown at 3 a.m. and call the fire department crying, and they came out and at least shut down all the water, figured out kind of the base of what it was, got a hold of our complex manager for us. They sent people out. I have industrial sized fans drying my apartment. just kind of like trying to hold off like the mold that is inevitably going to happen.
Right. Well, at least you
Because
won't be there for that, though.
the problem, and the thing is, like, it won't be visible to us. Like you can already smell the mildew
Oh,
ever so
gross.
slightly. You can already smell because I mean it happened all around my air conditioner.
Right.
So like I can smell it ever so slightly through that like water smell
Right.
through my air vents, and I'm just sitting here going, okay, I got to make it through after tonight. I got to make it through 3 days. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. First thing Monday morning, I have movers here. And we're getting out because that mold is going to start settling in pretty quickly.
Right.
And it won't be visible is the worst part. So like I'm going to know it's there and I won't be seeing it.
Right.
But they're going to have to replace all the drywall. They got to rip her and all of her floors, all her carpet. Everything has to be replaced up there.
Oh my gosh.
We got extremely, extremely lucky. It did not spread throughout the whole apartment. Realistically, if we hadn't caved and called the fire department, it would have spread throughout the entire apartment.
Right.
So we're extremely fortunate there, and that we were even awake.
Yeah. For real.
Extremely, extremely lucky that I was awake for all of this. But there is that is panic that was setting in. It's not like my AC unit did it earlier in the summer, and haha, it was kind of a funny joke. Like, yeah, water leaked everywhere, and I had to use all my towels and wipe everything up. But thankfully, nothing got harmed there. It was just, it came out of like the cracks of my walls, like the creases between wall and ceiling. This was just everywhere.
Right.
So long and short of it is, that's why we're not doing a video episode tonight. I am recording from my recliner in the living room. Is the only place that there is to sit anymore. That is not my bedroom. Like on my bed. So we're doing this. My webcam is packed. My microphone is packed. But I still wanted to do an episode tonight. It's too big of a week not to. If it was
Yeah.
any other week, it probably would have been okay. Like either tag somebody else in, or we're just flat out gonna skip a week. Can't
Well,
really do that with a new season and an expansion.
right. I mean, we technically already put out an episode this week, so I
It's
told
true.
you we would have been okay to wait till next week, but I know,
No,
you know, Josh is
I
gonna be
wanted
away this
some
week.
semblance of normalcy tonight. So,
Yeah.
but aside from all of my woes, it's also been an awesome week on the Destiny front.
Yeah. I mean, even before Tuesday, for me at least, I got my first Vow clear.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
that was great. Shout out to everybody in the Discord who we played with. Joasis and Nerd led us through up until Ralk, and then it just got too late. But then Classic Mark and Mitch, our buddy Mitch and
Andre
Andre.
was in there.
Yeah. Who am I missing? Oh,
Rush.
Rush was in there and
Yep.
Tiger Jesus. So
Tiger Jesus. Okay.
it was a good time. So
Yeah.
shout out to the Discord for getting that clear. It was
Yeah, and
awesome.
we're setting up some King's Fall runs for people to get clears these first couple of days after my group goes through on Saturday. Nerd and I have both set up runs for next week to offer to teach people the raid.
Yeah, and I'm gonna probably set up some for the following weekend as well.
Yeah.
So because King's Fall, it's my jam. That's
Oh yeah.
that's the raid.
So I've got a bone to pick while we're on the subject of King's Fall.
Yeah,
This is the first raid I can remember where they're not doing a raid jacket, and it's the only raid I've ever cared about getting one from.
they're not doing a jacket.
They're not doing a jacket.
Oh no, that's not.
They are doing there's an Oryx raid ring. If you complete it in the allotment of time that normally you would earn the jacket in. There is an art print, which is the Guardians fighting Oryx, which looks insane. Like
Yeah, that
I
looks
will
super
be
cool.
I will be ordering that. If you do it at any point this season, you'll be able to order that. There's the pin that they're doing for all raids and dungeons going forward. Uh, Also looks pretty cool. Andre and I are big pin guys, so
Yeah.
I can't wait to get this one. And then there was something else. I think there was like one more thing, but oh, there's the seal, obviously.
Yeah, the
But
seal.
there is no raid jacket, and I'm bummed.
That's
There's no jacket. There's no shirt for it. I would take either. I would take a shirt if they didn't want to do a jacket. And they had said a couple years ago we don't always want to do jackets for everything. And
yeah, but
man,
this is the one you do it for, right?
this
Like,
is the bummer. It makes me infinitely happy that I bought the Vault of Glass one last year.
yeah.
So I at least got one from like a classic raid. And it's like I get the philosophy. It's like how many more jackets are people really going to buy? It's the same people who complete them in those time frames for the most part. So I get it, but selfishly, we've talked about it a lot. King's Fall is my all-time favorite piece of Destiny content.
Yep, mine too.
So that is just on like a personal note that makes me a little bummed, but also on the other hand, I'm kind of glad that I'm going to save $150
Yeah.
because let me tell you something. I pre-ordered that Lightfall Collector's Edition.
I know. I thought about it, but I man, I think my wife would murder me if I bought another big
If you
Destiny
listen to
game.
our recap episode, you can clearly hear me forget where we're at in conversation and apologize because I'm trying to put in credit card information in the middle of our conversation.
Yeah.
Um, but I was thrilled to order that. I was going to order it sight unseen. When I saw it was the Vex fish, it was
Hmm.
Elsie's little fish. I had to rush to make sure like that order got in. Um,
Man,
got
that's
to
gonna
put
be
it up
so cool.
alongside my Founder's Ghost and my Hive Ghost. Got to put it up on the same shelf.
Yeah.
Um,
I bet those all three are gonna look so cool together.
Oh, I'm so excited. It makes me really want to go like on eBay or like Macari or something and find the Shadowkeep Collector's Edition now, so I can have the cryptoglyph
Yeah.
from it.
Yeah.
And like, I don't want everything else that came with it. I just want the physical like collectible. Like, I want that. I
Hmm.
want the Shard of Darkness from the Beyond Light Collector's Edition. Any lore documents that came with them, and I would like to eventually get the gold ornate Callus box from the D2 Collector's Edition, the vanilla
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I don't care about Hawthorne's bag. Y'all can keep that. I just want that Collector's Edition,
Oh,
which I
you
have
don't
found for
want
decent
a Hawthorne?
prices.
You she have some cool clan stuff in there.
I almost got that bag once upon a time. The Collector's Edition was down to like $60 on Amazon years ago, and I just like, I don't know if I
Yeah,
want to
when
buy
everybody
that.
realized that D2 was not great at
Well, so
launch.
this was post Forsaken before Shadowkeep, and I very nearly caved and bought it, and decided not to. And I don't regret it or anything, but I definitely wanted that box. I want to do like a whole shelf of just like my D2 collectibles behind
Yeah.
me, or off
Yeah.
to the side of my desk. Get those on there. Get my Exo Stranger statue up there, who I also bought in Fortnite with the
Me
Lament
too.
pickaxe. I bought that.
So,
That's the character I went with. I did not buy all three.
oh, see,
I've gone with.
I got all three because
I went with. I constrained myself. I got LC and I bought Lament. That right there was about $20, and I says, okay, I'm fine with this because I'm gonna buy. Uh,
all three of them were $25. You just
it is what it is. If I decide I want Zavala and Ikora down the road, the bundle will be discounted
yeah.
with the amount that I paid, so that's okay. Like, I may change my mind down the line. I'm hoping to get in and play a little bit once I get settled in the apartment. I want to play the Javelin 4 recreation in Fortnite and play a couple matches of Control. That is a limited time creative mode in there.
Yeah.
So I'd like to check those out. I hope they don't go away on like Tuesday or Wednesday next week, which knowing my luck, they will. So
Yeah.
I will try and cram in some matches, maybe like tomorrow afternoon or something, just to check it out in between moving. Uh, Fortnite armor looks awesome in game. It looks better
Yeah,
than
it
the
does.
renders. It looks great.
Dude, the Titan
Uh,
set actually looks really good.
They all look really good. I will be buying the Hunter and Warlock sets.
Yeah, I will also be buying the Warlock set. I don't play a Hunter, so there's no reason for me to buy it.
I think we can all agree that the Warlock looks the best.
Oh yeah, the Warlock looks awesome.
I like the Hunter set because it's symmetrical finally.
Yeah.
So I do like that. The whole set is symmetrical. Just what a cool. Let's talk about the Epic collaboration. Like we're already talking about Fortnite and stuff. What a cool collaboration that they've done.
Oh yeah. Super cool.
This is beyond anything they've done before in game, and we had a brief discussion about this at the end of our recap, and I kind of want to talk about it with you. I told him I wanted to just share some basic thoughts, and then you and me talk about it. We talked about the absurdity about 6 months ago, and again a couple months ago, when the Sony purchase was completed, about the big talk was, oh my god, like what if they were to put the Leviathan axe or the Blades of Chaos in here? Like, would you want to see stuff like that? And my answer is the same as it was then. Fuck no, I don't want to see that. But I think if you do something that's tasteful like this, and you don't overuse putting other IPs in game, then that's okay. Like, I think if you did it once a year, that would be fine. Like, we got the 30th anniversary stuff last year, which that all made sense because those are former Bungie games, right? Marathon, Halo, there was a reference to Myst, there was references to Oni, like, that stuff made sense.
Yeah.
The Fortnite stuff, I get it. It's a huge collaboration with Epic. We actually know Destiny is one of Donald Mustard's favorite games of all time, and that's part of why this deal happened.
Which is hilarious.
Also, this was clearly done before the Sony purchase. Like, I saw people going like, oh, it's that Sony synergy at work. Like, guys, this is like months, if not years of planning to get this done. This did not happen in the last month.
No. This probably started like either right after the split from Activision or like after the Steam transition.
So I will say part of what we knew from the leaks last year was that Destiny was supposed to come to the Epic Game Store. That was one of the very few post-Witch Queen things that we knew. It was just a matter of when. Like, when was it going to happen? And I think we knew during Epic versus Apple that they were internally like having discussions about some sort of Destiny crossover. It showed up in the surveys this year to players. That all makes sense. But I would say probably the deal probably got firmed up right around the time that both Microsoft and Sony were talking to them around last Christmas about a purchase. I would say that's probably when they were like, hey, we may be picked up by one or the other. If you guys want to do it, it's pretty much now or never. If you want to do a big crossover, like they probably still would have.
Do you think Epic was ever in that conversation to buy Bungie?
No, I don't think that Bungie, because Bungie was not seeking out a purchaser. And I think, like, you look at the companies that Epic has bought, and they want to buy these multiplayer games that they can turn into like a freemium model, and Destiny just doesn't lend itself to that. Destiny's not freemium it's not a free-to-play game. It may bill itself as free-to-play. It most definitely is not. You cannot enjoy this game without buying the expansions.
Nope.
So,
which are free right now, by the way, everybody.
I would say, yeah, until Tuesday. If you use Epic, get on there and at least claim the 30th anniversary pack for free. If you have an Epic account and you link it to your Bungie.net profile, you can get 2 free emblems, which look pretty nice, actually. Same thing I said before, I'm getting tired of seeing emblems everywhere, but I'm glad it's this and not like a special ship or a sparrow or something where, like, those of us who have a hardline stance of I'm not giving the Epic Game Store any information on me. Like, I think buying V-Bucks is one thing, but like I don't want that launcher on my computer, for example. That's a totally different thing, I would say. What else? There's some cosmetics that came to Fall Guys as well. Those are just the generic Guardian sets from the beginning of D2 Vanilla. Fall Guys just has some of the weirdest crossovers, but it's that synergy, right? I was actually kind of shocked we didn't see like sparrows show up in Rocket League or something.
Yeah.
It seemed like something weird that would have gone along with the synergy, but cool collaboration, really in depth. I could see, like, now I think it's feasible, but it won't happen until sometime next year if it does. I could see them, like, adding a couple of armors to the game. Like, I hypothetically threw this out there. What if they did, like, a PlayStation, like, greatest hits uh, armor set or something? Where, like, let's say, and this is pure hypothetical. Titans get a God of War inspired armor set. Maybe it's like the gold armor that you get for killing all the Valkyries or something. Maybe you base
Yeah.
something on that. For Titans, for Hunters, maybe you give them a look like Aloy. And then Warlocks, and Warlocks are always going to be the trickiest thing, right? Maybe you give them a look that looks like the Hunter from Bloodborne or something
Yeah.
along
That'd be
those
cool.
lines. I mean, that would probably involve a huge conversation with From, but if you did something like that and that was it, that's the only thing you ever did, then I would say, okay, I'm just like gonna kind of like I'm gonna look the other way and pretend this isn't happening while secretly shelling out some money for that God of War armor.
Yeah.
But if you only did it the one time, fine. I don't want it to turn into we're doing like themed collaborations every season. Um, Joe Blackburn actually said something along these lines. I wanna pull up what he said yesterday. Um, because he was also addressing that there's no Arc 3.0 armor in the shop, which I was kind of livid about, honestly. I was really looking forward to getting that set, and it's just the Fortnite set. So here's his exact words, and Tomcat and Sox wrote in today asking about that, saying they were pretty bummed out that it's just the Fortnite armor. So Joe wrote yesterday. Um, just want to keep y'all in the loop about Arc Eververse sets. They're coming in Season 19. We're really excited to see players' reactions to armor ornaments over the last few seasons and hope to offer an even bigger selection of ornaments and unique fantasies in future seasons. I want to focus on those last few words. Bigger selection of ornaments and unique fantasies in future seasons. That to me screams you're probably getting a PlayStation Greatest Hits set at some point.
Yeah.
I also wonder if that means that they may, and this would all depend on, new parent company, or did they have a conversation before the purchase was completed, or what? Do they revisit doing a full-on Halo-inspired set at some point? I don't want any of that, to be abundantly clear. The Fortnite stuff really pushed the wrong buttons with me, and then I saw the images like an hour later, and I was like, oh, that actually looks awesome.
Yeah.
They found a way to bring some of those in. Like when they said Fortnite skins, I don't know why, but my immediate thought went to like Jonesy or like Peely, and I was like, how the fuck is a banana gonna run around in Destiny?
The pink bear with the head wound.
That was all again another fear, and I'm just thank God they picked ones that actually translated to the art style very, very, very well. So cool collaboration. I will keep an open mind. The armor ornaments that we got in the past last season for Haunted and the ones this season are some of the best armor they've ever made in this game across both titles. So if that's the kind of stuff I'm going to get in the future, cool. If that's what you mean by bigger selection of ornaments and unique fantasies. But when you say a bigger selection, I want to see more than just one set in the Eververse each season. Like, I think they're progressing that way with like the fantasies with the mech armor, the monster armor. What was it that we got last season or last year? The dino armor, the dinosaur armor. Like, I think they're doing that. Like, they're starting to do this, right? And I think Halloween was a testing ground.
Yep.
You want to do stuff like the Reaper armor? That's awesome. I'm glad that was part of the season pass. I think that yes, it's FOMO, but that gives people who are even like, I don't know about this season, like, but I guess I'm going to stick around and grind it out because there's some awesome ornaments in it.
Yeah.
I would have already paid the $15 for that Reaper set, but I'm going to get it for all three characters for $15 or for $10. Sign me up.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm just a Bungie shill, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we knew that though. Everybody knows that.
We did in fact know that. This makes me hopeful that we will see a stasis inspired set also if we're
Yeah,
going
that'd
to
be cool.
continue with the 3.0 sets, and
Yeah, that'd
obviously
be
there'll
cool.
probably be a strand set. Um,
I bet the stasis set comes sooner than we think.
I mean, I honestly think they probably do stasis and arc in the same season.
That was my guess. Because they're not going to wait till after that first season of Strand. They're going to sell the Strand set that first season,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah,
They're not going to
I
wait.
would imagine so. But like, if you're gonna keep that stuff in Eververse, that's fine by me. If it means that we keep getting these amazing sets in the pass,
Mhm.
um, but I guess we were just talking about Strand. Corey, you didn't join our recap on Tuesday. Obviously, middle of the workday.
Yeah,
Um,
I watched
I
it today.
have to know, what was your reaction upon seeing the Lightfall trailer play, the whole aesthetic? Because like I was saying on our recap, like this is 100%, this is an expansion built specifically for me in
Yeah,
terms of its feel, its colors, the traversal. Like this is built
yeah,
specifically for Josh.
yeah. No, it looks super cool. So I watched the trailer first because I didn't get to watch it right away. I
Yeah.
watched the trailer first. I was like, "Oh man, the sequel to Lightyear looks cool." But because that logo, man, that logo inspired, I'll say.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that logo was just lifted from like Dafont or something.
Yeah. Uh, but man, dude, I think it looks cool. I think, dude, it's got some like this is the first time we haven't seen something that's like broken and dusty and like, you know, from a
Well,
past
it's
civilization
hilarious
that
that
we're
this is
rebuilding.
happening now
Yeah.
when we're like on death's front door, and it's like, nah, here's Tron meets Blade Runner meets like a David Guetta soundtrack.
Yeah,
Like, here
dude,
you
it's
go.
so cool. And like I even like the armor sets, man. Like I think it just like them like that shot of them jumping out the window, right? And the
I
cabal
think
jumping
it's
out
fun.
after them.
I think that the Warlock set looks really good. For the most part, looks good. I'm in love with the Hunter set. The
Yeah.
Titan set. So this is one of the images that Nerd and I saw leaked the day before. We were howling at the Titan set because we just saw the static image of the supers, and it's
Yeah.
the armor is all covered in types of bullets.
Eh,
And
yeah,
you have fucking claws,
I
like
know.
green claws.
Look, okay, so I'm just like I just assume that the Titan set is always gonna suck, and like this
I
Titan set
can't
is
believe you got another punching super.
yeah, no, well, I'm
I
not surprised.
cannot believe this is fucking wild.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm done. I'm not surprised. Uh, I played on my Warlock last night a little bit just because I could, but I think this expansion looks really awesome. And if this city is kind of like as big and open as they kind of portray it to be,
Yeah.
and not just like a giant circle that you run around in,
Mhm.
this could change Destiny. And I'm actually shocked that it's coming to PS4 and Xbox One.
I cannot get over that. I'm fucking floored that this is
Like,
going to. That means Final Shape is going to, and I just,
yeah,
man,
like this
I don't
looks
want to be that guy, but
look,
it,
this environment and this super, both items were built to eliminate those like those old consoles. I'm sorry. With the
yeah.
scope and like the particle effects with the super and the
I think at
traversal.
this point we have to ask ourselves, were they all? Because I mean, I feel like now after seeing this reveal, they were planning to. And this is all conspiracy theories. I mean, I've been saying it for a long time now that I thought this was going to be when they would finally do it. Do you think that they kind of realized during development? Well, we kind of have to commit now. Like consoles are still having a hard time coming in. Like we got to decide. Like they probably had to decide this October or November of 2020 is probably when they
Yeah,
had to make the decision.
yeah,
Or 2021, excuse me, 2021. Probably like around this time last year, probably they were having the conversation of, well, what do we do? Like, this is an unprecedented shortage of consoles, and it's now, Sony's raising the price of PS5s.
Hmm.
Um, that's going to contribute to people not being able to get consoles.
That's
Um,
interesting.
yeah, that's fucking wild. If you haven't heard about that, that's an official thing. Almost every territory except the United States, they're going up in price.
I do
Um,
you think that'll go up in price in the United States too?
it depends. I don't think it will here because it's much closer between PlayStation and Xbox here than it is throughout the rest of the world, I would say.
Hmm.
Um, Xbox is very much an American brand for the most part. Sony is definitely more global than them, just like
Hmm.
Nintendo is global. Like I saw people saying, like Nintendo kind of got ahead of this by announcing, the OLED and this and that, like which probably will phase out the original Switch. That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother podcast.
Hmm.
Um, this looks cool. Like it's going to be one of those situations like, well, you can play it on the old consoles, but you're not going to get the best experience. You're going to have actually probably a pretty shitty one. Like I would go
Hmm.
so far as to say, like, if this runs buttery smooth on current gen, it's almost developer malpractice to release this on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Like putting Final Shape out there, and like what they said at the end, which I neglected to mention on our post show, by the way, and I can't believe I did because I was fucking screaming when they said it. Uh, no more sunsetting of expansions.
Do you think this is the first step of them starting Project Goliath, whatever that rumor
Yes,
is? Yeah, I
yes.
do too. I
I
100% do.
firmly believe that they are going to come out next
Maybe
year.
that's maybe that's how they bring them back. Where maybe if only current gen consoles and PC can handle Project Goliath.
So here's the cool thing about that. Like if you were to bring those expansions back, you can make them downloadable. Like that's the thing is you can make them downloadable. Goliath is going to be, I believe, going to be much more cloud based to where
Okay.
like, oh, you don't have to have this installed on Xbox, PC, or PS4 or Epic or whatever. You can play it from the cloud. It's going to be another one of those. Your best experience though will be downloading it directly to console. But like if you don't want those, for example, if you don't want those campaigns on there, free up that space, delete those. But if you
Hmm.
ever wanted to access it, it'll still be there in game. It'll just give you a warning, will be playing via cloud,
Hmm.
and you will have the option to still download everything either on the current gen or on the old gen. I think that would be the most tasteful way to do this.
Yeah.
But I cannot imagine that stuff not being playable, especially if you're going to bill it as everything from Shadowkeep onwards is playable. Like, cool. I think I speak for everybody when I say we would like to be able to still play the Red War and Forsaken for newer players. I don't think newer players
Yeah.
need Curse of Osiris or Warmind,
No.
but that depends on what they do with Osiris, who is in the key art for Lightfall, and what
Yeah.
they do with Anna and Rasputin, who it feels like a damn near guarantee that we're going to get a season about Rasputin. Either season 19 or season 20 is going to have Rasputin in it at this
Hmm.
point.
I
Uh,
think I bet 19 has Rasputin.
because so here's my wild theory right now. For a long time, we've all thought like that Rasputin did not trust the traveler, was going to shoot it down, may have shot it down when it tried to flee, etc. I've kind of started to turn with the reveal of the Lightfall destination, Neomuna on Neptune. That is a colony formed by the surviving Exodus ship.
Hmm.
And I had a friend asking, like, well, how did we just never find them? Simple answer is we've never gone that far. You have to remember the
Yeah.
farthest that Guardians outside of like Drifter's crew or like maybe explorers like Fenchurch have ever gone is the Dreadnought in
Yeah.
the orbit around Saturn. The only planet we've ever actually gone to that's that far out is the moon of Europa or
Hmm.
Io. Those are both in orbit around Jupiter.
Yep.
Like there were three Exodus ships. One of them became the basis of the Awoken
Hmm.
because it was ripped in half. One crash landed, failsafe, crash landed on Nessus, and this is the other one that clearly survived, and they have thrived without the light. They have their own thing, the Cloud Striders.
It's so wild. I'm
My
excited to
favorite
see this.
tweet about this has been, "Oh no, the Cloud Striders are hot."
Yeah.
Um, this is this has just been awesome to see. It's not something I ever expected. Callus is clearly the big bad of Lightfall. He will be off the board. We'll talk about the new season here in a few minutes, but it seems like Aramis may be off the board. We were just wondering aloud, when are they going to deal with these guys? And it really feels like Lightfall is going to be the beginning of like us marching towards beating the major main villains that are still around.
Right.
But it also confirms for me, like, Xivu Arath is pretty clearly going to be dealt with in a season at this point.
You
Um,
think a season? You don't think final shape? You don't think?
so here, I mean, here's the only question I would pose to you is, she clearly can't be a raid boss unless they hold her until after the witness is dealt with. I cannot imagine that happening.
Why do you say that though? Like why couldn't Xivu Arath be the first like like a
I mean,
raid?
she can be a boss. She can be a boss in there. Don't get me wrong. She can be a mini boss in Final Shape in the raid. But man, what a fucking letdown for the Hive God of War to be a mini boss encounter.
Yeah.
Like
Well, I mean, Savathun didn't even get a raid.
Sabotage. Well, and I think that we kind of know why she didn't, though. At this point, right? Like we dealt with her in an epic fight in the campaign. It feels pretty obvious that she's going to get rezzed. Maybe helps to shore the city, but the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I fully expect to see parts of each of the old enemy factions. We have Mithrax's Elixni. We have Keitel's new Cabal Empire with us.
Mm-hmm.
My insane theory is that Asher Mir is going to lead a friendly army of Vex to
on
fight with us.
Or I mean, if the witness is impeding on their plan, like again, enemy of my enemy is my friend type thing.
Yeah. I mean,
I
so
mean,
we
your
know that
theory is much smarter.
we know there's Vex on Neptune from the gameplay footage. I'm almost wondering if that's where we make contact with Asher again.
Hmm.
Is through the Vex there. Maybe they're part of the same
Yeah,
collective that was on Io.
yeah,
Stranger things have happened in this. There's literally like a Morse code message or something that you can listen to in the Vault of Glass redone that is Asher talking.
yeah,
So Bungie's done weirder things.
yeah,
This is probably the first step for what comes post Final Shape, though.
yeah.
This may be the end of Light and Dark, but this is the beginning of whatever comes next at the same time.
Hmm.
Um, the traversal looks. I'm so glad they gave everyone the grappling hook because, man, if they'd only given that to hunters, we would never hear the end of it.
No, you would not.
Um, that's going to change the way that you play the entire game, though. Uh, Nerd was bringing this up. He says, "How is that going to change how we do, you know, old dungeon and raid encounters? In terms of like the jumping puzzles."
Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
I think the answer is like they're gonna build future ones with Strand in mind and be like, suck it up and switch to it.
Yeah,
So excited to
man,
see that.
that's going to be like a new mechanic within a mechanic is like switching
Oh yeah,
subclasses.
yeah. I mean, like I don't have to switch subclasses necessarily right now, but I mean, in raids, I've been known to switch up entire elements and subclasses based on the encounter. I've had to throw stompies on. I'm a hunter. I have to throw stompies on for jumping puzzles usually.
Hmm.
So there's all that. We didn't really get a ton of details on Lightfall itself, though, and I think that's for the best because we have to figure out how we're going to get to that point.
Yeah. Plus, like, I'm sure somewhere during season 19, we're going to get another kind of bigger kind of not like a bigger reveal, but more of a breakdown somewhere, right?
Yeah, my thought is they want to let season 18 play out first,
Hmm.
and then after 19 starts, because 19 starts on December the 6th.
Hmm.
I think you're going to get a little bit of info before Christmas, but once we get back from that Christmas break and dawning is over, it's
Yep.
going to be just a flood because you're going to have 7 weeks before launch at that point. You're probably going to get another trailer at the Game Awards.
Mm.
I would suspect that they may show something at whatever PlayStation Showcase happens this fall as well.
Yeah.
I think both of those are likely things, or there's a state of play that happens and they show some stuff. Um, Maybe we get a Vidoc towards the end of this season once we've seen the story play out. There's plenty of things you can do, but I was worried about getting too much spoiled ahead of time. Now I'm like, well, this isn't at all what we expected, which makes me think that there's a fast one that's going to be pulled.
Yeah.
I still maintain that I think the city gets taken over in the opening moments of the expansion, and we are basically rescued by the Cloud Striders. Maybe they don't save us. Like we make a makeshift fleet in season 19 or something, and we start evacuating the city at the end.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
maybe, I mean, maybe. So I know we're gonna get into it in a minute, but I was shocked to see Spider again in this season a little bit.
I was
Uh,
shocked to see Spider as an ally.
yeah, that's where I was getting, and like maybe like I don't know, his people are helping us too. Like I don't know, I'm just shocked at some of the things we're seeing.
I Yeah. So okay. Well, let's end it there. Do we have any final thoughts on Lightfall? Because there's not a lot we can really talk about with Lightfall itself right now.
Right. I mean, I don't really have a lot more to say. I think the design and the armor and stuff looks cool. I'm excited. I want to see more, but nothing else really to say, honestly. Uh, Strand looks cool. I'm glad we're all getting grappling hooks.
Glad we're all getting grappling hooks. So I want to read a few things from the Lightfall product page while I have this up. In regards to the raid, new raid, a haunting presence has been detected within Redacted. Guardians must explore the mystery and discover everything they can about this threat. That makes me think that it's an existing location.
Yeah.
I have heard rumors of what it is, but I'm not sure how credible I find it. And just in case it's real, I'm not going to talk about it here. Um, Maybe I'll throw it into the spoiler alert channel on the Discord. But yeah, I don't want to bring it up now because if it's real, I'm hoping I will forget about these details in like a couple weeks, just like I did with the Witch Queen paste bin, and I got to be like, oh my god, and then I went back and reread and like, oh shit, like I kind of found all this out last July and forgot about it.
Yeah.
Um, the dungeons are coming back, obviously. Season 21 and 23 dungeons each will have its own exotic weapon and collection of rewards. They did, for the first time, if you pre-order the expansion, you get the exotic from the expansion right away, Quicksilver Storm.
Yeah, that's
Um,
cool. That weapon's awesome.
Corey, you have used it more than I have. I have
Yeah.
only briefly gotten to play around with it. Why don't you go ahead and talk to us about that? Because Tomcat wrote in with a second question and was asking, do you think it's worth pre-ordering Lightfall to get the exotic now?
So here's the thing. It's awesome. It's super OP to the point where they actually
They disabled it this afternoon.
disabled it. Yeah, they disabled it for all raids and dungeons. But man, dude, like it fires so fast, and like as long as you're hitting enemies with your bullets, like a little rocket will pop out of the gun and like do a little explosion where you're like it lands where you're shooting, like and takes out some enemies, and then like you can hold down X and it loads up grenades, and you kind of like charge this little
Mm-hmm.
invisible meter, and like you can charge up to 3 grenades and then shoot grenades. Oh, it's so cool, man. It's super OP though.
I want to read the description that's here. Cloud Strider weaponry that has somehow been reshaped and found its way into our hands. We don't pretend to understand nanite technology, but what we do know is that we have no record of another auto rifle that turns into a rocket launcher that turns into a grenade launcher. This is clearly a hint at what's coming. We
Yeah.
knew that there was going to be, like, the rumors always persisted that there was going to be something that they were going to introduce it in some way ahead of time before the next damage type before it came out. I believe this is maybe not the beginning of a new damage type, but of clearly the next weapon foundry that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Um, this is It's wild. It's an insanely good weapon model, I think, to just look at. It's a
Yeah,
720. This thing is crazy.
yeah, it's
Um,
super cool.
yeah, God, man, I absolutely love it. The last thing I want to touch on is these enemies that are walking around with the Shadow Legion, with Callus's troops, kind of like the Witnesses' lieutenants. They're like mini Rolks walking around.
Yeah, what are they? They're called. What do they call them in the trailer? Like mentors or something?
Tormentors, I believe.
Tormentors. Yeah, yeah. So like they're kind of like they're yeah, like you said, mini Rulks, but they're buffer than Rulk, and they have like cool size that they're like gonna throw at you and stuff. It's
Yeah,
crazy, super cool.
yeah, this is crazy. Obviously, they're on the key art for Lightfall. You got them. You've got the Witness. You've got the leader of the Cloud Striders, whatever NPC it is that talks to us. I'm sure is right there. Callus, who looks like he has like almost like a cross between like Exo technology and like Vex tech on his
Hmm.
face. You see the Titan there, and then Osiris.
Hmm.
So my theory is Osiris has got to wake up this season or next,
I bet
if
it's next.
he's gonna be a part of this. Very very excited though. February 28th, 2023. This is dropping just a week off of when the Witch Queen did. As of now, it's not getting delayed. A lot can change in 7 months.
Hmm.
Um, Man, it's gonna be a wild time. Let's uh let's shift quickly to some seasonal thoughts.
Yeah, I'm gonna go pee real quick, Josh. You
You're
just
good. You're
keep
good.
going. I'll be right back.
Um, so opening of the season, season of the Plunder. It's pirate themed. I've had numerous rum and cokes playing this already. I really dig this. This feels like a fresh season in a lot of ways. There's three activities. There's the catch crash. There's the treasure hunting. Then there is the weekly boss that you're gonna fight, like the weekly story mission, essentially. Um, I really like all of these. The Elixni Quarter has returned, which has clearly been built up. Spider owns a bar down there, and that's where he like holds court. Spider is back. Like, just how funky is that? Yeah, he's back. He's teamed up with the Guardian, the Drifter, Mithrax, and we're hunting Aramis, who has been unthawed. More about that in Lore Corner tonight. Um, but he is willing to strike a bargain with us. Gives us a catch, flying his colors. We're chasing her pirate band. How they do this is really cool. You can summon allies to help you in fights. There's a sniper, there's a servitor, and I don't know what the third one is because I don't have them unlocked. But you can summon them via banners in these activities to give you some assistance, either in the treasure hunts or in the Kel catch. Um, I can tell you right now, the Kel catch activity is going Kel crash, Kel catch, whatever it's called, is going to get really, really stale. That is your 6-person arena mode this season. It's cool. Is it still going to be cool in like 4 weeks when I want to rip my hair out, though? That's part of the question, I think. There's a whole sub-series of quests where you're reading these clues and you have to follow a multi-pronged quest to get to certain things. Um, which will eventually end giving you an exotic accessory. And I've been trying to figure out what that means. Like, is it going to be something like the Cloak of Bacchus was last season, for example? Or is it going to be like more likely just like a fucking sparrow or a ghost? Which I don't think any of us want any part in. Um, I'm excited to see what the next expedition is because right now the only one that's there is Europa. I'm really hoping that we get either the Cosmodrome or Nessus next. I believe those are the other two. Um, and then at a certain point, we're going to have to answer the age old question: are we ever going to get back to the throne world for some more story stuff? Um, but right now, I like it. I like the pirate hideouts. The pirate hideout clearly is, the conclusion of the weekly story each week. It's
Pirate
not
Hideout's
bad.
cool.
Uh, I like all of these like in synergy. I think they all work together. It's certainly the most activities we've ever been handed at once in a season, I think, on top of King's Fall.
Hmm.
The weaponry is awesome. It all looks like it could be like space pirate themed. It's all spiky. They gave us an awesome exotic fusion rifle, the Delicate Tomb,
Yeah,
which
it's
is
pretty cool.
really, really cool. I really like how it fires. The pirate themed armor that you can get in the pass looks great on all three. Again, another banger. All three classes look pretty great here. Um, and then I also like the. I don't know if I think this is the regular armor. The last in the slideshow, I think it's the regular armor. I like it too. Hunter or excuse me, warlocks are going to like it. It looks like they're not wearing a dress or a duster in it, so that may be something they really end up digging. Just great armor all around. The warlock set, you can see that they're wearing a cutlass on their belt. I was really hoping that the hunters would get one too. Alas, we did not. We probably just got more knives hidden somewhere.
Yeah. Well,
Um, just
you and your
man,
knives, Josh.
me and my knives. Also of note to point out, with Arc 3.0, and more detailed Arc 3.0 conversations. Hopefully next week. If not, it'll be. I don't want to put it off until week 3, but it may very well be week 3 by the time I have time to actually sit down and play with Arc and make some builds. There is a special chest in the helm, the Gift of the Thunder Gods.
Yes.
When you go and open this up, you will receive Thunderlord. You'll receive one class exotic. So if you're a Titan, you will get Falling Star, I believe.
Yes. And
If you are,
I'm so glad, by the way, that I busted my ass for like 3 or 4 hours the other day trying to get this thing. And then 3 days later they hand me one.
to be fair, it was a nice surprise. I think I will be opening it up on my Titan because I have yet to get Falling Star.
I mean, yeah,
Um,
it is, but I mean,
yeah, I get the sentiment, unfortunately. And then Warlocks received the Getaway Artist. Hunters got Liar's Handshake. All three of these were three of John and I's recommended things to have in your arsenal going in. Our top, almost our top exotic armors across the board, actually.
mhm,
Um, and then you will get a full set of armor. You get a full suite of weapons as well, multiple different weapons that are either stasis or arc. And the base power that these will drop at is 1540, I want to say, for anybody. But if you have a higher light level, it'll drop 2 years because all mine dropped at 1570. Um, and it's meant for anybody to be able to jump in and play right away. I would expect to see more things like this in the future, maybe.
mhm.
Um, maybe there'll be another set like this. I don't know. Um, in a future season, but this feels right. Like it's getting it up there to where like anybody can jump in and play at least the activity, and then you'll
Mhm.
level up obviously quickly and kind of designed to be there to get you raid or end game ready right off the bat. And it's a good selection of weapons too, I might add.
Yeah, it's a great set of weapons. Uh,
Um,
Also, somebody pointed out that like the armor is already kitted out with like an arc
yes,
setup.
yes, it's got great
So,
mods on it. It's almost fully masterworked right off the bat.
mhm,
So great for if you want to get into build crafting. It makes me really wish that we would have gotten stuff like this for the other two subclasses. Like,
mhm,
I think for Arc, they knew that, like, Arc is clearly one of those that you're not going to get the most out of this unless you kit out for it. It's not like the
mhm.
other ones where you can kind of like bluff your way through it.
Yeah,
And like just build around like aspects and stuff, aspects and fragments. You have to do those, and then you have to like it's all about your ability,
yeah.
and you have to be able to build that. So like for hunters, it's us running around stabbing things, hitting them with the staff, etc. Titans, it's become they're now insanely mobile. Why not keep that going? And then warlocks, it's let's use all your abilities. Like we're really digging into arc soul here. Like that's clearly it's an arc soul build. None of what they gave you is going to be like life affirming and be like, oh my god, I can go solo dungeons now with this. But it is meant to be a starting point for you.
Yeah,
Um, I really, really, really enjoy seeing that.
yeah. It's cool. I I like Falling Star a lot because I have the Titan mark that you wear with it, and then your whole kind of armor set glows in
Yes.
the arc. It's super
Yes.
cool. Super cool.
Super cool. I actually am going to get the Orpheus rigs ornament before I go into the raid on Saturday, so I can wear that with my rigs, see how it looks. Um,
Nice.
what else do we have here? I think that's about it for like seasonal stuff right now. Like again, we're 2 days into a season. We're still kind of exploring. I like the story thread that it's really it's Mithrax, it's Drifter, it's Spider, and it's Mithrax's daughter. Ido is
Hmm.
here. And
Yeah, she's
she's
cool.
very, very green, very naive. That innocence will, of course, get shattered, and that makes me very concerned for Mithrax.
Yeah.
Genuinely concerned about him. Only time I've actually been concerned, like, oh my god, would they pull a fast one on us and kill him? Um, see like some fractures in that alliance. Spider might have to step up and help lead his people. Maybe Varix. How do we have a whole nother fallen season and Varix is nowhere to be seen once again?
Yep. Sidelined again.
We're
Oh
fighting
boy.
fucking Aramis. She's unfrozen, and she had to like walk past him to get out of there too.
Hmm.
Did
Yep.
she stop for like tea and crumpets with him? Like what's going on here?
Are they besties now? This is
Again,
concerning. I'm concerned, everybody. Varix is being left out in the cold, no pun intended. Uh, and he just, where is Varix? Okay,
yeah, this feels like a rare misstep from the narrative team, but I mean, it could just, and it probably is one of those situations where like, okay, there is a finite amount of characters we can focus on here, and like, it seems pretty clear they want one major character from the tower, one major ongoing story character, and then be able to bring back a returning face or a new face each season. There's kind of a formula to it. Like last season, we hadn't done anything with Eris in a little while, so Eris is here. And then we hadn't had a Zavala season since Crow saved him in Chosen. So okay, let's get Zavala back in here. Crow is usually the guy who shows up in seasons. Let's throw him in. And then Keitel. We've never really interacted with Keitel except in cutscenes. And then they give us that glorious mission where you play alongside her, which was really, really awesome. Bungie basically heard us say we like playing with NPCs, give us more of this, and they let us make our own pirate crew out of it.
yeah.
It's a
I
nice little motif on the you have to buy upgrades every couple of or every week you have to do those challenges to be able to buy upgrades. This is a unique twist on that, and I like that. You're not forced into it either. If you don't want to buy those guys, you don't have to, but you're going to have to buy their upgrades at some point to be able to unlock the later upgrades for better loot, for more focused treasure maps, things like that. I think this is a really interesting loop. Clearly, a lot of love was put into this season. I don't agree with a tweet that I saw earlier today. Stephen Totillo over at Axios wrote it. Basically said, or I guess it was today or yesterday, said, played a round of the new Destiny activity, and it's very fun, but it's very formulaic. It follows the same exact pattern, and this and that. And I'm like, I don't mind if it follows a pattern. I just want it to feel fresh. And as of right now, 2 days into a season, this feels fresh. I will
Yeah.
feel totally different by the time we get to Festival of the Lost. I will feel very different. I'll be like, oh my fucking god, I don't want to do Catch Crash anymore. I'm done. Catch Crash is over. Let's move on to the next season. I'm out of here.
Right.
So,
But
but that's
it's
when you take your break.
yeah. But Catch Crash is cool though. Like I like
It's
the
cool, but I can already tell it's going to get stale.
well yeah. I mean if that's like if you play it like 100 times, it's gonna get stale. But
Yeah.
I mean right now, as of like 2 days into a season, and like
Hmm.
I last season didn't really do it for me. Like I like the story, but just like the Leviathan stuff didn't really do it for me. Like this feels great to me, you know. So
Hmm. Man, good times, good times. I really can't wait to see where this story goes. We're chasing Aramis. The seasonal trailer shows her and Mithrax clearly facing off.
yeah,
Um, she wants to kill him. She basically is harassing him, like at the end of like Catch Crash missions, being like, you're an abomination, you're a failure to your people, and this and that. And man, you can't. Saint's gonna show up if you keep talking to his boy like that.
Yeah,
that's all I want to say. So,
you know what else we got, Josh?
What else did we get?
Pirates.
Yo ho. A pirate's life for me. Yeah,
I get to make my dining reservations next week.
Ooh, yeah, Corey's going to Disney World soon. This just feels like a cool season, like a cool aesthetic to go into. Just like they leaned into the Reapers last season, and while that was paired with an underwhelming activity, I think for the vast majority of us, that was still a really cool aesthetic that they leaned into everything with the seasonal sets, with the armor, the Sparrow, the Ghost, all of that. Like Reaper and like Bones, like the undead, essentially. They're kind of doing that here with pirates, and I'm curious to see what they do. Like if this is also alluding to living out your fantasies, like we talked about with the like with Epic and PlayStation themed armor. Like, man, I want to see more stuff like this. When do I get like a Wild West themed armor set? I know that I got like some Indiana Jones style armor years ago, but my hunter would really like to wear a duster.
Yeah.
So let's get on that, guys. I'd really like to wear a duster in game and not have to play as a warlock. Let me put a sombrero on.
I like going back to the seasonal stuff real quick. I do like the Titan armor from the season pass, the pirate captain set, except for the helmet, but helmet's a helmet, I guess. But man, get a pirate coat and like a cool belt. Oh, it's so cool. So cool. I'm
cool.
I don't know. I'm like really back into Destiny now. Like last season was like I played it at the beginning of the season and I was like, I'm kind of like I should probably play something else.
I think last season took a toll on a lot of us. It was just kind of like, like the narrative was incredible, but the activity was underwhelming. And the reality is, not every season is always going to hit. This definitely looks like a return to form. I could see us, depending on where the story goes, obviously, and how good the loot ends up being when you can craft these weapons, et cetera, et cetera. Like we could be looking back on this, next year. It's like, man, that was up there with like Chosen and Splicer. It's just one of the absolute best seasons they've given us.
Yeah.
So certainly in terms of like variety, but if this is going to be like a prototype for the amount of activities and loot and narrative and things like that they want to give us going forward, I'm all for it.
Oh yeah,
I'm absolutely all for it.
100%.
Yeah. Well, Corey,
Josh,
what do you say we answer some listener questions? Let's do some listener questions, and then we'll head back to the lore corner for the first time in a hot minute.
A hot minute.
We had several of you write in using the Discord, which I love because it's all in a nice, convenient place. But of course, you can always hit us up, towercasuals@gmail.com, or at Tower Casuals on Twitter. You can send Corey or myself as well. Here, we get them on Instagram. It's all great. Andre, we have to start with Andre, right? Andre writes in, goes, my question is, favorite class ornament? So what's the go-to cape for Josh's Hunter for Drip of the Century? And Corey, what is your favorite bath towel that you wear?
Bath towel.
For me, it's I'm kind of a simple man. I like wearing the Prodigal Cloak a lot because it's got a little radio attached to it. It looks very similar to the ruined Dead Orbit cloak, that exotic cloak that I wore in D1 a lot. But I do wear my Dead Orbit cloak all the time. I still rep my my emo boys, even though they've left the tower. I'm out here still waiting for faction rallies to return. It's like the Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob beam. How do we tell them? That's kind of how I feel. People look at me in the chat. The NPCs are like, "Oh God, look at this guy. He's still He's still strutting around in dead orbit colors.
Yeah. How do we tell him?
Corey, what is your favorite towel?
Favorite towel? Well, they're not very exciting, Josh. I don't know if you know this. I was wearing the Dead Orbit one for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also I really like the this arc one that I've been wearing this past season. Uh, I usually just pick one. I don't pick it to look cool. I pick it to not look ridiculous, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But this arc one is really, really cool. I also like. I also used to wear the Tangled Shore one a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but yeah, I really like the arc one. Like this forget what it's called, but it's super cool.
I
The
like the Mark of the Falling Star a lot for you guys.
Yeah, that's the one I'm wearing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um, it looks cool. It looked cool enough that I almost got it, even though I never play a Titan.
Yeah.
Um,
Plus, like when you wear the Falling Star chest piece, it glows, which is super
right.
cool.
Just like Mask of Bacchus worked with Cloak of Bacchus, and then
Mhm.
Battle Harmony had one as well for Warlocks.
Yeah.
Andre also says at the end, not a question, but a shout out, just like you gave at the beginning for Vow of the Disciple. It's a compliment. Was really fun to finally play Destiny with you guys. Josh and I were farming not Cloud Strike, Storm Chaser, and doing Vow with Corey.
Yeah, it was cool. I like Andre a lot. We did a good run.
He's good people.
He is good people.
Um, our
A
next
lot of the
question.
people we played with were good people, though. I mean, our Discord, man.
Yeah,
Gotta
it's a
say,
great place. It's popping. It's happening.
it is popping. Also,
Uh,
shout out to Nerd Generalist real quick, just for putting all the bots in for
yes,
us.
that is something that I have no idea on how to do those.
Yeah, he was showing me some stuff, and he sent me some websites and stuff. I was like, I'll look at this when I have more than 5 minutes.
Yeah. uh, Tiger Jesus 64 writes in and asks, so do you guys think airborne effectiveness got touched because of the new strand grapple, or was it all just a coincidence?
Hmm.
Uh, there's no such thing as coincidence as far as I'm concerned, but they had to be thinking in the future
Yeah,
with that. Also, like, they knew that Stompies were a blight on the community for years and years, and they'd had their time in the sun and then some. Um, but I do think airborne effectiveness definitely did get adjusted now so that we could all get used to it and not be like, oh my god, they gave us a mobility class and, we can't do anything now. I think they
mhm,
did it partially because of Strand, partially because of Arc,
yeah,
just to be completely frank.
yeah, yeah. No,
Um,
I agree with you. I mean, I wasn't really like jumping around anyway, but I mean,
no,
this
it's
was fun.
definitely more, I would say it's definitely more of like a Hunter or an Icarus Dash thing, for
Yeah,
sure. I think also the boots that Warlocks got last season may have contributed to some of that also.
yeah,
With fusion rifles, that may have
mhm,
contributed partially to it. Again, Icarus Dash, they got rid of the ×2 dash. It feels like all of these kind of played together. I don't believe in coincidences, so I do think that this was absolutely a premeditated thing. But it's like, okay, let's do the first wave now, and if we still need to like kill some things before the release of Strand, we can, or we have a little patch ready to go with a second Strand hits if it like warps everything out of whack. Maybe they raise it back up a little bit. Who knows? I'm curious to see how that traversal is going to work in PvP now. A little terrified, honestly.
yeah.
RushJet writes in, you get to name and design your own catch. What's its name, colors, and flag emblem?
Our own catch. Hmm.
Yeah.
Man, uh, I don't. Man, that's a tough one. What emblem? I think, man, just my boy Varix, man. House of Judgment is cool, but I wouldn't necessarily fly a Lexini symbol. Um, I don't know, Josh. I feel like you would have the Gambit snake on your flag just because you like the Drifter and hate Gambit, and you just want to stick it to the Gambit.
I mean, I am a noted fan of the Gambit symbol.
Nice.
Yeah, for me, like if I'm sticking in universe, it would probably be either Drifter's snake symbol, or it would be Dead Orbit. I feel like those are like the two that I would fly under. Um, maybe the Eye of Osiris. Frankly,
Okay.
I do wear a lot of Trials armor on my gear. So I like kind of any of those colors. It's gonna be black and white. It's got to be black and white for me. Got to go with the classic pirate colors, and I think like man, almost any design will pop with that. Um, as for its name, um,
Man, the name's the hard part, man.
the name. So the name is so it depends on the catch because I feel like my catch would be like small, like Spider would like jip me and give me one that's like a third of the size of everyone else's.
What
Um,
are the one man ships called in Sea of Thieves?
that's what I was trying to remember. Sloops. So the salty sloop. If he gave me a little ship,
The
um,
salty sloop. Oh,
the
that
salty sloop or
sounds.
the dumbass dinghy.
Mm,
Um,
the
yeah,
salty sloop is the name of
salty
that ship.
sloop. I'm gonna go with salty sloop. Yep, salty sloop.
Mm, I
And
hate
I
that.
would also like to note that this season has finally made me vindicated on my clan name that I have had for years, which is an inside joke to a failed Wrath of the Machine run. Um, the Wrong Direction Pirates.
Mm.
I have a fucking pirate name. Yar is my clan tag. I feel seen this season, and I'm so excited.
It only took 6 years.
It only took 6 fucking years, and me deciding I was going to leave my clan this season for it to happen. So now I got to ride out. I got to ride out the last couple months. Uh, but come Christmas, I will be changing clan affiliations. So I'm going to enjoy this pirate season.
That's fair. That's
Corey,
fair.
hit me with your choices on this one.
So, Josh, you know what I was thinking of right now, and I know we'd both be aboard this ship out of
The
canon.
the, the
Okay,
Black Pearl.
no, no, Josh. Imagine, imagine you walking up to your ship. You raise the sails. It's a bright red sail. Okay, and none other than the Earl of Sandwich logo is
Oh my
flying.
god, I hate you. Why would you do this?
Hmm. I gotta tell you, man, it's there. It's there. The Earl, the original, the classic. I'm telling you, it's
So in
happening.
Corey's fantasy, he doesn't even captain his own ship. He works for the Earl.
I do. Hey, man, if he's gonna feed me them delicious sandwiches every day, I will. I will work. I will do. I will do unspeakable things for some Earl of Sandwich. Let me tell you. What do you think I'm spending all this money to go to Disney for? It's not to go to the parks. No, it's to eat some Earl. Okay.
Unreal.
Oh man, I love it. I love it. Ugh.
We have one final question, and it is from Nerd Generalist. Who would win in a fight? Sepix Prime, Sepix Perfected, or Scurvy?
Oh no. Mm.
I mean, I'm gonna go Sepix Perfected
Yeah, I would say
because
it's perfected
listen,
as well.
not only is he one of the biggest badass orbs we've ever seen, but he also has a bitchin' soundtrack. Scurvy doesn't come with its own musical cues. Like, who among us does not know not only the Sepix Prime theme, but the Sepix Prime Perfected
Yeah,
theme from Rise of Iron? Probably the best thing to come out of Rise of Iron, honestly.
yeah.
Is that the riff that hits in the middle of that is like, oh man, man, did they go talk to the composer behind One Winged Angel from Advent Children? Because whoo, it's good. That's some good stuff. Like that's oof. Whew. That's as close as a dopamine hit as you can get in game, I think.
It's true. That's a good theme.
However, I will argue for my boy Scurvy because he's a spiky servitor, and I love the spiky servitors.
Yeah, but
Big fan. Big fan. My spiky
look,
boys. I got a shell that looks like him that goes with me everywhere.
look, I'm a fan too, okay, but it's imperfected, man. Nothing's getting past Septic's perfected.
Nothing is getting past Sepic's perfected. I think that does it for questions tonight.
All right.
Yeah. I feel like that's it for story questions for tonight. Let's head to the lore corner.
Let's
Let's
do
talk
some
lore
lore
corner.
corner, Josh.
We haven't been here in a
minute.
while. It's been a minute. It's a brand new season, so we're gonna read some lore. This first one is from the book Between Stolen Stars. You get it from this week's story mission. Number 1, Thaw. You are cold, child. Aramis's world was a choking smother of darkness and pain. She could not move. She was only vaguely aware of the voice. We have a use for you. A mass of frozen splinters sealed her eyes. How long had she been here? We would have you find something for us. Something which was lost. The voice swirled around her like smoke, echoed inside her mind. Though terrifying, it was something to focus on amid the surrounding nothing. Who was speaking? Answer, said the voice, convincing and commanding. Aramis paused. As if in response, her perception began to dim, and she felt the crushing darkness closing in around her once more. There was no fight here. This was no choice. She remembered her people. Yes, she thought, and the pain ceased. Gather those who would serve you, and know you serve us. A surge of images filled her mind, tendrils of inky vapor trailing through the stars, hidden vessels secreted amongst long forgotten treasures, a whisper rising to a roar, the great machine beginning to awaken, and then from there, everywhere, shattering. Arask sat in the heart of his ketch, lit only by the weak amber glow of his view screen. He frowned as he charted another trip through the Thamus cluster with a quarter load of phase glass. The job would barely pull enough to cover the voyage, and ether reserves were dangerously low. How long could his crew... A blinking light caught his attention. Chatter on a long dormant channel. Arask leaned forward in his seat, his ancient leathers creaking as he moved. He tapped at the screen with one gnarled claw. The missive was direct and merciless. A jagged grin crept over his face. She hadn't changed. The comm system squawked from disuse. Below decks, a patchwork band of dregs and marauders looked up in confusion. A call's gone out, Arask's voice rasped in the speakers. Raise the old flag. We sail once more. So, Aramis is fucking terrified right now, and she should be.
Yeah.
The witness is inside her mind. Basically, I mean, we all knew when she got frozen by stasis. Like, oh, well, she's not dead. And this clearly is like, you tried to take the power. You were not chosen by us. You're fucked. You work for us now. I do wonder if this lends credence to the thought now that's going around of, are we going to see her as the dungeon boss in season 19?
I feel like maybe, unless, I mean, you think they would keep her around for 2 seasons?
I mean, if the season's coming out at the beginning of the season like it always does, I mean, it's just an extension, basically.
Yeah, it's fair, I guess.
So I could absolutely see it happening, yes. But it would all depend on the storyline for season 19 also, because they would surely want to tie that in.
Yeah.
But if Aramis were to truly die, that would alter the dark future of Elsie.
Yeah.
So, because Aramis is still alive in that timeline, like we're actually serving with her at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So, us and the other fallen guardians.
Yeah.
The next one I wanted to read was the Castaway's Shell. Just fair warning, this is a ghost shell that you get when you hit level 50 in the season pass. Not that anybody should be there by now. But
I'm sure
I did
somebody
want
is.
to. Oh, I'm sure somebody's already finished the pass. I saw a level 45 guy last night in Mayhem, and it was wild. I wanted to read this though because I don't think it's any spoilers, but it gives us a bit of insight and context into Spider's way of thinking right now. Of Misrax and I have one thing in common, Spider rumbled. It's that what we keep is an eye toward the future. He turned a delicate ghost shell over in his massive claw, admiring its elixir styling. Even when we lived from one raid to the next, stealing from anyone who crossed us, we always dreamed of more. He stared into the middle distance, briefly lost in reverie, including a place we could call home, outside of that filthy catch. As it happened, Miss Rax eventually granted me a whole planetoid of my own. He chuckled ironically to himself, just not in the way I had hoped. When I was finally picked up, I was no longer a raider, wanted throughout the system. He opened his arms wide, palms up. I became Spider, a simple merchant with a bounty to collect. In hindsight, getting marooned on that forsaken rock was the best thing that ever happened to me. He shrugged noncommittally. Maybe being stranded in the last city will serve me just as well. So these two have a history, and clearly served in the same crew at some point. I do wonder if the godforsaken rock that he talks about, was possibly the chunk of the Tangled Shore that he eventually ruled over.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that's where he was kind of kicked out at, because that also, you will remember, is the location where we found the book about Mithrax all the way back in Shadow, or Forsaken, not even Shadowkeep, Forsaken. All the way back there.
Yeah.
So, lots of potential, I think. I don't think it's as cut and dry as Spider has decided to work with Mithrax now. But it's kind of like, you need a pirate to hunt pirates.
Right. That seems more likely.
And we've said that we really feel in the build up to Final Shape, it's going to be us gathering any allies that might be on our side, or at least don't want to be ruled by this entity. And Spider definitely fits the bill there. I personally think this kind of puts him back in the camp for me of when our Guardian inevitably leaves the solar system post Final Shape or post Lightfall or whatever, that he is one of the companions.
Mm-hmm.
And would basically act as like the Cryptarch or something. I could see that happening. That would be kind of cool. Yeah. Like, oh, he's that, but he's also Ada. He's got your weapons, he's got your armor, he's got your resources. Yeah, I hope he has like a little stall in the hangar or something.
Yeah.
That'd be really funny. Or like he's pushing like a cart of weapons around. That'd be funny to look at too. But yeah, just two really basic lore pieces to get us started off this season. We're going to have a lot more coming in, obviously, with the return of Kingsfall this weekend. Maybe that'll give us some hints as to where we're going to go with Savathun and Xivu Arath. And yeah, man, I think that about does it for us tonight.
Yeah, I think so. Man, I'm excited for this season, man. I know.
I am too.
I know it's going to be a pretty interesting one coming up on Festival of the Lost with Gundam armor. Can you imagine fighting space pirates as a Gundam? Just throwing that out there, everybody.
I mean, I think Gundams are the way to fight space pirates.
I mean, you're not wrong. Let's be honest here. You are not wrong, sir. But Josh, unless you have anything else...
I don't. Let's boogie on out of here.
Let's skedaddle out of here. I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening to this episode of Tower Casuals. Remember to rate and review us on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you listen. Josh, appreciate you. Appreciate your time tonight. I know you are trying to get through this whole apartment thing.
We're going through it.
Where can we find you?
At Josh_Finn, 2 N's, or you can find me in the Discord.
Yeah. You can find me at IamCoreyNHD on Twitter and Instagram. You can also find me in the Discord. yeah, I think that's it. I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening. And until next time, we love you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye. Pirates.